Okay, guys, it's time for an intervention on your nasty, stinky, disgusting training gear. You know it smells like shit. So let's fix your shit. Hex Performance makes advanced laundry detergent, gear wash, and gear spray that gets the stink out. It was started by a pro athlete, so they know sweat and they know modern athletic fabrics. But it doesn't stop at just sportswear. You can clean everything from your gear bag to your towels, your walking around clothes. You can spray it on your car seats. This stuff is legit and it smells amazing. Go to hexperformance.com and use the code MATTHERAPY20 for 20% off. I promise you will thank us for it. And now... What's up, everybody? It is time for Mat Therapy. Today, we're with our homie from down under, Frank Barca!
Donna's so
I'm so
excited
excited
right now.
We're chilling in this cool apartment in downtown LA. Don't tell anybody where we are. It's a secret. And Frank has come all the way from Australia just to do our podcast.
For that reason alone.
Yes, say hi,
Don't
Bexy.
let him tell you otherwise.
Say hi, Bexy.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Frank.
Say hi, Frank.
Hi, Donna.
Hello,
Oh
hello.
my God, Donna.
Tell everybody at home what your name is with your American accent.
Frank Barca.
For those of you that are not actually
Barca.
watching, his mouth is going all over the place to say this. Barca.
Frank Barca. Is that right? It's Barca.
What up, Frank Barca?
What up, Frank Barca?
I'm great. I'm really good. It's so great to be here again. I
Welcome.
can't believe it. Like, I remember the last time we got together, it was like the 11th show or something, and now you guys have done like stacks
We're
of
still
shows.
doing it.
755.
We're still doing it.
Unbelievable. And the guests you guys have had on has been incredible. Yeah, Damien Meyer on
We
it.
had Damien Maya.
What the hell? I
Right?
was freaking out. I'm like,
Yeah,
look
so
at
were
these
we.
girls.
Dude, you can imagine what was going on
We
in
were
my head.
freaking out.
There was like a day and a half when I didn't even tell her because I was like, I don't want to ruin this if this is my mate. And then it kind of started getting closer, and I was like, Donna, guess, oh my God, I don't know what's.
She's like, okay.
I'm not telling anybody else though, because I'm just not gonna jinx this at all. It's meant to happen. It's
He
meant
was
to happen.
lovely and wonderful.
He
and
was.
amazing.
It's cool.
Amazing. Yeah.
Isn't that great?
It was incredible.
It is. There's so many amazing athletes in the jiu-jitsu world that we without podcasting we wouldn't really get to know what they're really like in their essence, just in their most natural way.
And getting to know what they are outside,
That's what
just
I mean.
have a
Like,
conversation,
Podcasts are awesome
like
because it makes you,
a real person.
Yeah, it makes you feel like
Yeah.
you're friends. Like I don't know about everybody else, but I listen to so many podcasts.
Yeah,
I'm
me
like,
too.
yeah, that's my homie just doing a podcast. And
Yeah.
even though I have no idea what they look like.
You've never
I
met
looked
this
up-
person ever. You're just like, but I totally know you.
I decided that the host of the Game of Thrones podcast that I listened to looked like one of the guys that we trained with. Like, I don't know why. I'm like, he sounds like Devil, so he looks like Devil. And then I went online and looked them up, and nothing.
Not even close.
He was like a big, chubby dude with a beard. And I'm like, that's not what you look like.
I think you get upset with him. He's like, but you're not supposed to look like that. Why? What? That's not what. No. Okay.
That's my story.
Fantastic.
Cool. So congratulations. So it's awesome.
you.
And I know a lot of my students listen to it. I know people all over
Yay.
the country are listening to it, and they get so excited about it, and we talk about it, and it's just so great. So, and it's great to see you.
Well, thank
It's
you.
been over a year now since I've been back. So
So what's been up? What's new? What's going on? What's happening?
Yeah. What's the story?
man, there's been a lot happening.
Okay,
over
let's
the last
start.
12 months.
First things first. You're doing commentary for
Yeah.
one of the promotions in China?
No,
Is that-
actually, yes, for Rebel FC, but I've kind of stepped away from that a little bit
Because the land of China is so far.
Look, it's real far, and it takes me away from the things that I really want to do too. And I've been over there 4 times now and called a show, 1 in Singapore and 3 of them in China, and it was awesome, and I really appreciate it. And to work with international athletes and just dealing with translators and just the whole thing. And I've got to tell you, the way they do shows in China, you've seen 1FC?
Yes.
In Singapore? Well, in China, it's like that. It's all gold glitter. It's all massive staging. Money just seems to be like endless over there. Unbelievable.
What? I want it.
Yeah,
I know.
it's
How
incredible.
do I-
What's that like?
How do I get a?
I don't know.
How do I get that deal?
But I've
She'll
been.
fly to China.
Yeah, by all means, go ahead. Good luck.
Go ahead.
No, China's not on my list.
Oh, okay.
I've
Yeah.
heard that their toilets are in the floor.
I don't know, maybe, I guess.
For that reason alone, you're not.
I just get put up in a hotel, so
You're not
I'm pretty
squatting
taken
over
care
a
of.
hole in the ground. All right.
But the first time I went to China, I literally just lived on watermelon juice because it wasn't in the heart of China. It was like out in a like not a regional area, but it was away from the mainland.
Sure.
And Qingdao they call it, and you walk in a mall and it's just food everywhere, and I wasn't eating that.
It is, dude. Right? Yeah.
I don't even know what that is. I'm like, red fruit. Yes, I'll have one of those. And I was just living on watermelon juice for like 2.5 days just to stay alive until someone would come get me. Oh my goodness, it was
You
just a
sounded
shock.
like you were like
You're
stranded
gonna like start like
somewhere.
packing power bars and you're.
I'm telling you. And that anyway. But
I've
that's-
actually heard. I have a friend who works in the shoe industry, and for very extremely high-end, ridiculously expensive shoes, and they all get made in China. And he has told me horror stories like that. I was like, oh, I'd like to go see. And then I hear stories. I'm like, I'm never going to China ever.
I don't want to go.
Like he says, people go crazy getting on the butt. Like
it's
they
bananas.
like elbow old people in the faces trying
it's
to get
crazy.
on.
Singapore's crazy. Singapore can be pretty crazy too.
I feel like there's something to like going, and I mean this is why people I guess travel and what.
Let me know how it is.
No, but like learning how, like being able to understand people. So then when the similar situation happens here, you're like, oh, but you know.
But we don't elbow old people in the face to get on the train.
We don't, and you don't, but they might still, even though they live here. So, but it would be easier to understand. You'd just be like,
all right.
Oh, well,
Let me know how it goes.
that's why I just got shoulder checked, or
Shoulder
hip checked walking down the
Yeah, it can be crazy. So
down Whole Foods.
But the main reason why China's been a little bit off my radar lately is because I work for Hex Fight Series, which is the #1 Australian show, along with Brace MMA. And Brace MMA are on UFC Fight Pass. And that can you imagine? Can you imagine? I was a fan from the very beginning of the UFC, right?
Right.
What did you want to ask?
Well, are they both promotions?
They are.
Are they rival promotions? So are you?
No, I wouldn't say they're
okay.
rivals. Well, they're two promotions.
Okay.
And it's everybody's just
And
doing
you're
business.
the Joe Rogan of each of them?
Oh, don't say that. No, don't say that. I mean, not that that's
you
a
do the
bad
color
thing.
commentary
Are
for
you?
each
Yes,
of
I
them?
do.
What
I
Joe
do.
Rogan does for the UFC, is that what you do?
Yeah,
for them?
that's what I do. That's what I do. So,
Okay.
so I do color commentary. No, not that it's a bad thing. You're kidding me? It's an absolute.
No.
I love it when people say that, but I'm like, I'm not trying
you're
to do
both
that.
black belts for 10.
But yes, that's exactly.
No similarities at all.
The same thing that happens to me probably happens to you when I do commentary, because they're like, you sound like you're trying to sound like Joe Rogan. And the answer to that, Frank, is I don't sound like Joe Rogan. I sound like Eddie Bravo, who sounds like Joe Rogan, and that's why I sound like Joe Rogan.
Okay, that's cool. But fortunate for me, I started commentary 7 years ago. In 2010, just as a goof, and I didn't want any money or nothing. I said, "Listen, I don't know, give me a microphone." I didn't want to charge $1. I didn't even know what to do.
Yeah.
Because if I was going to hate it, and I wanted to walk away from it, and no one was going to be mad at me.
You don't want to
That's very
You
smart.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I didn't know. I don't know. Because I've been a martial artist all my entire life, as you know, and I thought, well, here's a chance to to put it to work.
Sure.
So I thought, yeah, I'll have a go. So I did, and I had fun, and I just did it. I was just trying to be myself, I wasn't trying to be anybody. I just want to look. What I see, I'm going to call it like you're commentators. You know how it goes, and I'm just going to enjoy the moment, and I've got an opportunity that people can maybe get educated by it. Because we've been training a long time.
Yeah.
And you're right. I'm a black belt as well, and I've been training all my life. So I'm like, let's go. So I did, and people really dug it. They were into it. So I just kept going, and then Brace got on Fight Pass. I mean, can you imagine that day that they gave me the microphone with the little. The square thing,
yeah.
and I'm like,
The mic flag.
and then the lights are on.
You're like, I'm on Fight
We're gonna
Pass!
talk about the top 3 fights. You ready to go? I'm like, ready. I didn't care. I didn't listen. I wasn't gonna say no to nothing. I wasn't gonna say no to nothing. If they wanted me to do cartwheels and throw punches,
right,
I would have done
let's
it.
do it.
I didn't care because for me to have a chance to expose more people to what we do,
Yeah.
I would do anything to do that because that's how much I love it. So, and fast forwarding, I've been so fortunate working for overseas international. I did 4 international shows, and now I've been with Brace MMA with Kaya Pate over there, and they do a lot of shows on the East Coast. And Hex is predominantly in Melbourne, and we've only gone over to Perth, Western Australia one time, and that's when we called that Twister. I don't know if you remember that I called one of the first Twisters in
No,
Australia.
but that must have been awesome.
Right?
And one of my best friends in the business too, like Suman Mokhtarian's the head of Australian Top Team in Sydney, and we've been boys since the very first show in Singapore. When he launched his pro career, that was his first fight, and I called it. And I've called all out of the 7-0 retired. The first 6, I called all those fights.
Oh,
Nice.
that's awesome.
So on the 6th fight in Perth, and we get together all the time. We're in foyers, in between, things at the shows, shining some rubber guard. Huge 10th Planet fan. Huge 10th Planet fan. All the boys down there. And his brother, Ashkan Mokhtarian, is in the UFC. Mm-hmm. And his girlfriend, Nadia, is a strawweight in the UFC.
What?
Wow.
I know. It's unbelievable. And we all kind of got involved at the very beginning, and we've come up right now. And here we are in Perth, Western Australia. And Suman's like, Frank, I can feel that twister. The fight before, he pulls off a TP. I'm like,
wow.
He's going to hit the TP? Wow. And he hits the TP. And then that was the 5th fight. The 6th fight, he hits the twister. And we've been talking about it. He goes, Frank, I'm telling you, we're going to hit a twister. And one of his students, James, I can't remember his surname, was the second person in Australia to hit a twister in MMA.
Wow.
So we've had 3 twisters in Aussie MMA.
Wow, really?
I know, right?
That's cool.
You think
No
about
idea.
that.
We haven't even had. We don't get a lot of twisters out here.
Think
That's
about
probably
that.
more than us. Yeah.
That is unbelievable. So for me to actually call Suman hitting that twister exactly how he told me it was going to go. As soon as he knocked him down, because he wanted to come out, hurt him with some punches, immediately just go, take the back, put the seatbelt in, and then work his way into the truck. And he did it step by step to the letter. And I was right there because I knew what he was going to do. We talked about it so many times. And when it just unfolded, like as if we were sitting there talking about it, it blew my mind.
Sounds pretty incredible.
For me, it was a huge privilege. I just thought, man, this is why. Look, I didn't know what was ahead with the MMA commentary. I didn't know how people were going to take it, and I didn't care. And I think that was the best way to address something like in the media is that you got to go in there and be yourself. Because if you try to be someone or someone that's not you, it's unauthentic. The authenticity, you just lose that.
Yeah.
And you know what, man, taking on 10th Planet all these years ago, like I care? We're going to talk shit? Come on, look, whatever, dude. Look, I'm too busy hanging out with the best in the world. So while you go and squabble about this or that, you go ahead and enjoy that. Entertain
course.
yourself.
Yeah, let people.
But for me, I'm getting
hate.
on planes, I'm getting on trains, I'm just hanging out with the best people possible. And MMA commentary has been an absolute treat. We were live on Fox Sports twice, Fox Sports 1.
That's awesome.
I know. It's just crazy, right? And my parents are like, all right, have fun, be careful, like. And they
Tell us when you get there.
It's just, look, it's been an absolute. I didn't have a clue that this would be. Eddie talks often about the unexpected. Like when you go in there and try and make things work, you're like, oh my God, it's not working. And all of a sudden you do something on the side or another side project, and you're like, I don't put. To be honest, and I don't want this to come off the wrong way, but I don't put any time into it.
Yeah.
Like, I get the card, I see what's going on, I call up my buddies, because I know most of the guys fighting on the card.
Yeah.
Over the years, interviewing them, what are you going to do, how's your prep, what are you working on, how are you going to address this? And I built a loyalty with the fighters, so they trust me. So if they speak to me, at first they were like, oh yeah, I'm going to throw a crane kick, right? And then once I bring them in, I tell the world what they tell me. Yeah. And if they were bullshitting, I'm like, well, this is what he said. And so they clicked really quick to say, hang on a second, he's not disclosing this information to the opposition.
Right.
Yeah.
I totally trust this guy. And plus, when they started after a while, like 5 years a while, look into my background and start to realize, hang on a second,
this guy
that's
knows
the
what
black
the fuck
belt.
he's doing.
Wait a second, he got his black belt? Hang on, that's Eddie Bravo's guy. That's that guy down in Melbourne running school. And they've got schools in Hobart and South Melbourne and Brisbane and Townsville and two in Western Australia, in South Australia. They were like, oh, wait a second. Hang on a second. So it started making a lot of sense. Now, it's unbelievable now. I got to say, the Aussie MMA fraternity, from the coaching staff, from all the teams, to all the dudes that are fighting, to their training partners, it's just, I got to tell you, it's the greatest feeling in the world. I walk in, I go backstage and start talking to the boys, and they're just so happy to see me. And can you imagine?
Yeah.
Can you imagine me, by myself, walk in with my 10th Planet t-shirt, my hat, my bag, I've got everything going. I walk in, those first few years to these teams, you walk in the blue corner and there's like 40, 50 people in there.
Right.
And you walk in and you're going to go over and shake hands, introduce yourself, and you're going to talk. Can you imagine how intimidating that must have been?
I'm sure.
I didn't care.
Oh.
I was nervous. I was anxious, man. Had anxiety going there, but I didn't show it. Like, I just went in and I was like, hey man, how you going? Frank Barca, 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu, how you doing? Hi, Frank Barca, 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu, how you doing? That's all I did. Hi, Frank Barca. And I just shook as many hands as I could. And I just was as interested, because I am naturally, because I love this.
Yeah.
And I was authentic and myself. And there's vulnerability, although
Isn't that
there's
the best way
vulnerability.
to be?
And although I was vulnerable at points, and I like, shit, you know, but
It's part of life, being vulnerable.
I was real, and I'm always the same. I don't have to act. If someone wants to get me on a podcast, or someone wants to do an interview, or if I'm on air talking about one of my mates that's gonna throw down with one of my other mates, I'm like fucking authentic. Like, these are my friends.
Yeah.
You know, and if I sucked, how long do you reckon it would have lasted? Not long, right?
Right.
That would have got me the hell out of there. And I've done commentary with some, the most, how can I say, fighters that have done amazing things, like Sam Greco and all these guys, and often I still pinch myself. Like, hang on a second, is this really fucking happening? Seriously, Fox Sports 1, are you kidding me? Like, I'm holding the microphone and then I go, don't look, UFC. I'm like, what? You know, like all of us,
Right.
1993, I'm 23, 24 years old, and I'm going, what the hell? I got to learn that. And then you look at it now, and it's been 20 something years, and running my school, and overseeing business in Australia, and Tito running South Melbourne, and Jem and Nat running Hobart, and of course Adam, you know, was about to launch Brisbane, and now we've got Chris Spence over in Townsville, and we've got Daniel Marinelli, a young gun coming up. He came up to me when he was 18. I was like, go and train. Don't worry about talking schools. Just go and train. Forget it. I don't want to know about it. He kept coming back 2-3 times a year for the last 3 or 4 years. Now he's like 21, 22. He's opened Adelaide no gi, and he's ready to go. He's got the warm-ups written up on the wall. He's coming to train all the time. He competed. He's got gold medalists already wearing our rash guard. I'm like, doing it right. So in 2018, we should have up to, 6 or 7 schools, I reckon. Legit.
Wow. Wait, so how many do you have now?
We have 3 legit schools, moons running in Australia. There's Melbourne, South Melbourne, and Hobart. And of course, we had Brisbane as well. And the eve of that, well, that all went to shit because the passing of one of my top students, Adam Gray, can you imagine? I'm sitting in my hotel room. I fly in a little late. My flight got delayed. We're going to do a seminar. That's what we do. We go, okay, let's organize it. So Adam goes, I want to do exactly the same launch as you did for Hobart. We're going to do it on the back of a seminar. We're going to do the launch, and we're going to get on the map.
And how long had Adam been training with you at this point?
I met Adam in 2008. I just got my blue belt and my affiliation and a separated shoulder, right?
All at once,
right? I was like, yay!
In a big package.
Oh, yeah. So, and I was living with Connor Hune at the time, just off Sunset. There's that cramp.
Oh, Connor.
Yeah, there's that cramp I was
Connor the
telling you about.
hurricane.
But anyway, so...
Bananas or something.
Oh, man, I don't know.
Sea salt.
I don't know. It's all good.
Something.
So, I had a seminar organized as soon as I landed in Brisbane. And that's where I met Adam. And he saw what we were doing. He's like, I've got to learn that. A year later, he's on my doorstep in Melbourne. He moved there, trained with me for 6 years.
Wow.
Became a purple belt. Beast. He did everything. He won everything he needed to win. He went back to Brisbane and won everything he needed to win. His students were destroying everything. Unbelievable. And for 2 years, he opened the doors, the grappling club in Brisbane, and preparing for affiliation. Did everything right. Repped the rash guard, worked on the warm-ups, got the curriculum down, sent me all the videos. It was all just perfect. Like, I couldn't have asked for a more dedicated sidekick. And the thing about Adam, which was really hard to even, it's only been 4 months and it's going to take the rest of my life to get over it. But when you meet a friend and you talk to them about what your plans are, and they look at you like, that's my phone ringing, I've got to get out of here because this guy's freaking a lunatic. There's those friends, and we love them. But then there's those other friends, or very few, that will go, when are we going?
Let's go.
What do you need?
Yeah. What can I do for you? How can I help you?
Adam Gray was that kind of guy. Adam Gray, we had the most epic fucking plans you can imagine. We wanted to run a super camp. We wanted to get all the affiliates around Australia, get together, get Eddie, Gio, Danny, whoever we wanted to get, take our families to the Gold Coast, hire out a whole area, have the kids have water sports all day, train all day. You understand what I mean?
Like a family.
You understand?
Like
we
a
wanted to
family
do,
affair.
Ultimate Australian traincation.
and then invite everybody to come down and do it, and you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it was just destined to be the greatest project ever. We had vision boards of this stuff. Like we knew exactly what we were doing, and Adam was that kind of cat. And it's to think like that. You have to be a certain kind of person. You have to have a certain kind of mentality to not fear reaching like to the stars with your goals. Like so many people are so, oh yeah, I just want to clear my credit card debt, and that's great. But Adam was like so beyond that, and that's what I needed in the business. 10th Planet in Australia needed someone like him, and the reason he thought like this too is because he was heavy in the corporate world. And get this, seeing how I raised my kids on the mat, because he met my kids when they were little.
Right.
My son's 17 now. He met Andre when he was like 10 years old. Capricia was like 7.5, 8. And seeing them raised on the mat, and he has two little boys of his own. I think 21, 22 months and almost 3.5 now.
Oh my God, the babies.
Yeah, babies, right? Beautiful little kids. Young wife, Claire, 34 years old, beautiful, just incredible family, set up home, 5 acres in the mountains. I mean, it was just...
At 34?
Adam was 38 when he passed away.
Either way.
I know.
I mean, like for age and having all that's
Absolutely,
incredible.
absolutely. So it's a tough loss for us. So so imagine. So I'll tell you the story. So real quick, I'm sitting on my hotel room, waiting for Adam and Shane to pick me up. Two of my students. Adam obviously was there, and they were having a standard Friday night roll as always. And I got in a little late, so I said, "Hey, listen, I won't meet you at the dojo. I'm in my hotel. Come get me. We'll grab some food, and then we'll talk about the weekend. The piggyback in the seminar with the launch, and it's just going to be the greatest celebration ever." Adam had ticked all the boxes, had everything sorted. We had the websites ready to go. He had already been in contact with Eddie for a while. Everything was sorted. Had his profile on the website ready to go.
Wow.
Everything. This is the eve. This is like New Year's Eve for 10th Planet Brisbane.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm sitting in my hotel room. Those hotels that you can't play anything unless you pay for it. So you got some crappy channel. I'm watching Purple Rain. I'm not kidding you. I'm watching Purple Rain. And I've got another side story remind me about Purple Rain, right?
Okay.
I'm watching Purple Rain. The phone rings. Adam Gray. I pick up the phone. I go, "Adam, where the hell are you, dude? I'm starving. What's going on?" And it's my other student, Shane Phillips. Shane Phillips is one of my purple belts. He's an OG of mine, great mate of mine. And he was best friends with Adam. And he came up for the launch to support his friends, to support us, support everybody, right? And Tito at this stage was here in LA when it went down. He hadn't returned yet. He was just on the back end of his 2 weeks training here when this all went down. So it's Shane, and he's huffing and puffing, and it's like 9:40 p.m. I'm like, "Dude, are you still training, you maniacs? Jesus." And he's like, "Dude, Adam just passed out in the foyer, ready to walk out and go get you." And my hotel was literally like 2 kilometers down the road. He goes, "He's just passed out on the mat." He goes, "I've been trying to revive him. We've been trying to revive him for 20 minutes. There's 2 units here trying to..." I'm like, "Shut up. What are you talking about? Is this a joke?" Put me on speaker. Puts me on speaker. And I could hear the radios going click, check, and I could hear him working on him and everything. It was... And my head... Can you imagine what went through my head?
No.
I'm like, this can't happen. It's not supposed to go down like this. It's not supposed to go down like this. We've been waiting 9 years in total, 6.5, 7 years with me, 2 years getting the business running, doing all the right things, ticking all the boxes, ready to go. And he's on the ground and they're working on him to revive. I'm like, what the... So anyway, shit. I said, "What hospital are you going to?" They told me the hospital. Went down there, and anyway...
Did the doctors ever figure out what happened?
Yeah, he had atherosclerosis.
Is that a heart
which
attack?
Is like calcification in the arteries of the heart. And you only usually find out about these things when they...
Really?
Yeah, when they do an autopsy or something like that.
It's like a too late thing when you don't find out.
Who knows? I mean, I wasn't going to grill the family about it, you know what I mean? Like, and it was just, and it didn't end there because, we had to wait for nearly 10 days to get the results. The next morning, I show up at the dojo, said we're all meeting at 9 o'clock in the morning. Everyone was there.
So
for the seminar,
did people show up that hadn't heard what happened?
Well, the word got out really quick. But the entire school was going to show up the next morning, of course. And the place is full.
So because
And I show up and I'm like, these people need to be led. You know what I mean? Like, what the...
So what did you guys do that day? How did you handle that?
Well, I mean, I was on the phone with Scott Ross. I was on the phone with Eddie.
That's a good person
in the
to call.
morning.
That's a really Scott
Scott
Ross.
Ross, yeah.
You know,
Steady.
Yeah.
Steady
I
rock.
was just trying so hard not to. Look, as cold as this may sound, I had to step up.
Yeah.
It was like,
It's not
all right,
cold.
Frank, let's go in the middle. 2009, 80 people in the room, all the OGs, Connor, Rasan, Scott Epstein, all of them. Imagine you get on the ground, you don't even think, you stick that gum shield in your face, and you get down for 6-7 minutes. You just do it. So I'm thinking, I went into that mode. I was like, okay, I have to be strong, and there's no time for me to think of myself right now. I have to just lead this group right now. So Saturday morning rolls on, we go into the dojo, and I rank 13 of his people. It's so crazy. He sent me an email. You want to ask me something?
No, try not to pop.
I'm
because
sorry.
The mic's right there. It's
I'm
okay.
sorry.
I just don't want people's ears to get blown out.
Oh, well, that's probably too late.
Yeah, they're gonna blow
So
it out.
That's okay.
I'll do this.
Yeah, there you go.
So imagine I go there Saturday morning. Adam just passed away. And the whole hospital scene was another story. But anyway, I really don't want to get into that. But
Okay.
it doesn't matter. I get there Saturday morning. There's a whole people everywhere, obviously all upset and crying. The room's full. It's quiet. And I just went out there and did what I had to do. And it's funny, about 11 days before that, Adam says to me, hey, guess Frank, I've got a whole bunch of people I want ranked. And here's why. And he gave me an itemized item. It's so crazy.
He gave you the list?
You don't understand.
Oh.
You don't understand. He gave me an itemized list of each person, how long they've been training,
And reasons.
all of the reasons why I should rank them, and all of the accolades. You have, you know what? If I think about it too much, I get really upset because it was like, looking back now, it's like he left. It was like a will for the dojo. Do you understand?
cry.
I know it was. Donna, don't cry
Too late.
Too late.
because
I cry
I
at
haven't
everything.
even looked at her. I can already.
this chokes me up every damn time, and it's very, very difficult to talk about. But I've got to talk about it because I want everybody to know what Adam did and what he stood for and the kind of man he was. He was exceptional in so many ways. So I rank all 13. So I read.
Oh.
Can you imagine? I'm standing there,
Yeah.
right?
Wow.
In front of these, and a lot of these kids I hadn't met before.
You hadn't?
No,
They're all
I hadn't
Adam students.
They're all Adam students.
That's amazing.
Wow.
So I had to honor them for Adam. So I went deep in myself to honor them, and I spoke about, and I told them, this is what Adam thought of you all individually. So I brought them up one at a time.
That must have
I brought out the blue belts. I had them in there in my bag, and I just called them out and just broke it down. And it was, how do you celebrate?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we did, in our own way, you know, in a situation. So we did, and there was 13 blue belts ranked that day, and they were all just one
That's a
more
huge
exceptional
class.
than the other. It's incredible, and we all were wearing our Brisbane, 10 Planet Brisbane t-shirts, and we had the big banners up and everything. It was just,
So
I just did not anticipate in a million years that that's how it was going to go down. It was not. It was just not. And
but you honored him.
yeah, we did. We certainly did. And then, you know, obviously we had to wait a while, so we flew back. And 11 days later, you know, and then when we came back to Melbourne, can you imagine everybody came out? Yeah. Tito's group came out, we had a roll. And can you imagine that was like the Tuesday night, the Wednesday, and could have been Tuesday, who cares, one or the other. And Renee Souza from 10th Planet Bethlehem rocks up first day, hi! I'm like, dude, did you hear the news? He goes, I heard about it, but I'm still really happy to see you all. And I was like, I just hug him. I never met Renee in my life, purple belt under JM and Zach. And we broke bread, we rolled, and it was a great roll, but it was a solemn kind of experience. Like, we're rolling.
It must have been surreal too.
I got this beautiful picture of Adam. He's in his suit, right? And his top button's done up. You've seen it? And he's opening it, his chest, and there's the Grant time. There's a Grant Live Rashi underneath it. And he looks like he had beautiful hair. He was just so handsome. And it's just tragic, you know? So we lit some candles, and I did a little thing for him, you know, and I left it there. And we rolled, you know, we put the music up and we rolled, and it was awesome. But it was such a battle, you know, inside. It was just such a battle. So anyway, days went by. When I was over there on the Saturday morning, when his father called me, and he said, "Oh, you want to talk about tough?" I'm at the hospital when it all went down. The ambulance drives in. I go right behind the ambulance. The light goes on, you know, and I can see him working on Adam and whatnot. And then all of a sudden, I'm standing there. I try and walk in. They go, "You can't come in." This huge dude just goes, "You can't come in." I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, "Whatever you say." And then I turn around, and Adam's dad and his wife pull up in the car, right next to me. It was tough. Anyway, so at the dojo, he calls me on the Saturday morning. He says, "Hey Frank, listen. I said, Mr. Gray, I said, is there anything I can do? Don't hesitate in asking me." I said, "I don't know what I can do. What do you say? What do you say? But if you need anything, let me know." So he goes, "Yes." He goes, "I want you to speak at Adam's funeral." And I was like, "Absolutely. I'm not going to say no to nothing. I don't care how hard it is.
Yeah.
I don't care what I have to do. But I tell you now, from that second, I was working on that speech, the eulogy or whatever you want to call it for him, on behalf of the martial arts fraternity in Australia and 10th Planet, because he had friends all over the world. I mean, Adam Gray was a huge, huge fan of all of you. All of you. You have to understand, all of you. He loved what 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu stood for. He was leaving the corporate life.
Wow.
Yeah. Because of our example for his kids, to get out of the rat race and raise them on the mat, you know, and and he was right there at that goal. Me and Adam talked twice a week, text all the time. Like, there was no, "Oh, hi, how you going? Oh, what's going on?" I'm never like that with any of my students. I'm right there with my students all the time. That's just the way it is. I'm in your face kind of guy. I want to be part of your life, you know. It's just the way I am, and I love that. But it hurts when you lose them. Yeah. It hurts, especially like this. So, shit, can you imagine my family? I mean, my kids grew up knowing it. I mean, it was tough. It was really tough. My wife as well. It was super tough. And so I went back there, and So before I went back, I'm working on the eulogy, how I was going to present my thoughts on Adam's life from my perspective, and I had it down to 15 minutes like an Olympian. And so the day before, I'm in my car and I get a call. It's Adam's dad. He says, "Frank, I'm just making sure everyone's ready to go tomorrow." I'm like, "Yep, no worries." He goes, "Listen, we're giving you a little bit more time than everybody else." I go, "Oh, that's awesome." He goes, "Yeah, you got 3 minutes."
Oh, fuck.
3.
You got 3 minutes. So I'm almost like running my car off the road. I'm like, "Oh," and you know, I ain't gonna say no. I'm not gonna have a quiver in my voice. I don't want him to think for 1 second that I'm not gonna deliver.
Yeah.
So I go, "Awesome, thank you so much. I can't wait to see you. I'm looking forward to seeing the
Stretch
family."
that line out. We're going to have to condense this
You know
stuff
what?
here.
I turned it into a 3-minute drill. I printed it all out. I printed out the 15-minute
Did you
version.
just speak really fast and you're just like...
No. I thought I did a really good job. And the feedback was...
I'm sure you did amazing.
I condensed it down to 3 minutes. I even wrote on my running sheet, 3-minute drill. And his father, after he introduces me, he walks up. This is at the funeral, right? Adam's there. Shane is going to speak next. I'm there, and I go, "Can I start?" So I was ready to go, like, on the timer. Like, it's crazy, right?
Like, you think they're gonna stop you?
You're like, Mark, go.
You know how many people had to speak that day? It was packed at this.
Really?
Oh, can you imagine, right? He was exceptional in all areas of his life, not just in jiu-jitsu, in martial arts. He was exceptional as a son, a brother, a father.
Sounds like he's a businessman too.
Absolutely. This guy had accolades coming out of his eyeballs. It's unbelievable. He was exceptional. And that's why it was so beautiful to have Adam in the business with me, because he's the kind of guy that could make shit happen. And not everybody's that guy. And it's not a bad thing. It's just that there's guys like Adam and there's guys that not.
Sure.
You know, it's just the way it is.
Yeah.
And I was so glad and grateful for the time I had with him. And I went there and I delivered in 3 minutes. I made him laugh.
Nice.
I made him cry. Can you imagine his whole family are in the front row, just hanging on every word, and I'm like, wow, this is. And at the end of it, I pull out his brown belt, and and I rank him. And I walk up to his wife, and his wife is just. Can you imagine his mom, his wife, and his sister? His tears are just streaming down their faces, and I just walk up, and I got the brown belt. And when I give a belt, man, I give those big chunky fucking belts with a black bar on it, like not some flimsy
Not like
belt.
the little thin one that like might
No,
fit
mate,
around
no,
like
no,
a thigh
no,
or something. The ones that's like it's wrapped a few times through.
No, sir. No way. I give those. So I had it, and I walk up to his wife, and I just bow like that, and I go, "This is Adam's brown belt. Please keep it somewhere safe, and tell your kids, tell your children about the warrior that their father was and is." And I'm just trying not to lose it, right? My whole family were there. My kids, my wife, everyone were all there. And I just walked off, and oh man, it was really, really tough. But I learned a lot from this experience. I learned a lot, and I learned a lot from Adam, his example, and I still do, because I hear his voice in my head all the time. The conversation we had, I read his texts, I go back and look at some of the last things we talked about, and I just hang on those things, I just do sometimes, because his name's still up on Facebook, so when you want to tag a friend or something, his name's right there, and I'm like, is it like him sending me a little message? Oh, he was messing with me for sure, because as soon as I was doing Grand Time, I do that little. Have you seen that little show now and then that I do Grand Time? Yeah, I do that often. And after his pass, I'm talking about it, like
in your car.
Things are glitchy and things are starting and stopping. He's messing with my car. Anyway, look, I don't know what people believe and that's up to them. But for me, there's a frequency. We're on frequencies. We're all on different frequencies, and he was definitely messing with us. There's no doubt about it. Now, can I quickly talk about a real quick Purple Rain story before I forget?
Yes.
Okay. What's today? Today's Thursday? Tuesday, I'm in an Uber with Jeremiah. We're going to Big Bear again.
You guys took
an
Uber all the way to
Bear?
Big Bear?
No. Sorry. Okay.
That's
So
all.
Jeremiah.
That's the only thing we needed to
I'm
clear
sorry.
up.
I'm
That's
sorry.
cool.
Let me start again. Jeremiah, I'm living here on South. Anyway, near the dojo, 2 blocks from the dojo, and Jeremiah lives just around the next block.
Around the
at
corner.
HQ,
Here?
right? Yeah. Just
Around the
He
corner.
lives in downtown LA?
He lives right around the
Oh,
corner.
I had no
from
idea.
the gym.
Yeah. So Eddie goes, go with Jeremiah. We'll meet you at Glendale because they're going to be out an hour trying to get their pictures up. I'm like, no worries, Eddie. So we share an Uber together, and we start talking about Adam. And he starts asking me questions about Adam and how it went down, this and that. All of a sudden, on the radio, have a guess what comes on the radio. Now, I don't know what you believe. If you believe in coincidences, is this a coincidence? Whatever. All right, cool. Purple Rain comes up on the radio. We're talking about Adam, and then that first beat drops. Purple Rain. And I'm like, wait a second. I go, Jeremiah, I don't know what you believe in, bro, but we're talking about Adam, and I told him the story. I was in the hotel, and I'm watching Purple Rain.
I believe that people on the other side can say hello and like reach out to you.
Right?
Yeah.
So do I.
that.
So do I. 100%. I've had so many situations where I'm like, that's just too crazy.
Yeah.
There's got to be some kind of intervention type shit going on. You know what I mean?
It's just energy,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna sound cheesy to people, but this stone, like, Franco, one of our training partners, made this for me. But its powers are clairvoyance and coincidence control and all that stuff. And literally the first week that I had this on, it was just tripping me the fuck out. I told her
totally
several
believe in all
times.
of that, yes.
I told one of my
yeah.
coworkers, I told Franco when I saw him again, I was like, dude, all this weird shit like has been happening. It would be something like that. Like, you would, having this conversation and that song comes on and you're like, well, one day we were planning, I was doing my schedule for work, and I was trying to figure out what I had coming up, and I went to the day for our last beach party, and I was like, and I literally clicked add event on my phone, and I'm sitting there typing in beach party, and the thing comes through. Donna just added beach party to the calendar. Like, it came through right in that moment. I was like, what the like, that was just one of the many things, but yes, I believe
Totally, I believe
all
that.
of those things.
Did you know, I'm not trying to do like a one-up story. Did you know that brown belt, how do you say it? Posthumous?
Posthumously?
That's the second posthumous brown belt given in 10th Planet. Did you know that?
Drog was the other one.
Brian Drogman.
Yeah.
Was the first one. When you're telling the story,
Car accident.
I was at Brian's. He didn't have a funeral. There was his family had we had a gathering on the beach, and it was such a beautiful moment. that I cry at everything. I'm gonna cry now. Eddie called his wife when Brian passed away and said, "What can I do? How can I help?" And she said, "You know, he was working really, really hard for his brown belt this year, and that's what he wanted."
Yeah. Same with Adam. His father said the same. You know, when I was at the hospital and his dad walks out and he grabs me, puts his arm around me. And he's like 6 foot tall. It's hard not to put your arm around me, right? And he goes, "Tell me you were gonna give him his brown belt, right?" I go, "Fuck yeah, absolutely." He ticked all the boxes and plenty. That's how it was always gonna go down. But I said to him, but I wanted to see, we were gonna get Eddie in this year.
Yeah.
Because, you know, the talks that he was going to make it. This is before he had, you know, certain issues come up and whatnot. But the plan was, because last year we didn't have Eddie because he had his back surgery. So we thought, we're about to schedule it in with Eddie to come down. And I wanted Eddie to give him his brown belt in front of me, all the boys, all the down under team, right there. I wanted to be glorious. Not that I didn't want to give it to him because he was ready, but I wanted to wait for the best moment
wanted
to
to
do
have
it,
that
right?
experience
I didn't want
of
to just
getting
give
it
it to him
from
at the
Eddie.
seminar. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to present it. He was there when I got my black belt in 2015. And the best thing that I could do to honor all the work that Adam had done preparing and the way he did it, I wanted to tell everybody there that that's how it went down, and I wanted to give him his brown belt right in front of my master. That was the most glorious way to do it, right?
Yeah.
It was going to happen no matter what. I said, "You bet it's going to happen, 100%." And it's funny, before I left to go to Brisbane for the seminar, I bought his brown belt. I had it all sorted out. It was on my desk in my office, ready to go. I bought it like 2 months before that. Like I bought it ages before that because I knew it's done. I just gotta.
It was just a matter of lining some things up and.
You know what I mean?
What have you guys done with his school now? Do you
Okay,
have somebody that can take his stead?
Okay, so this is what happened. At the time, it wasn't the time to make any plans.
Sure, of course.
Because, you know, never make plans when you're really happy and never make decisions when you're really sad or
that's
super
good
emotional.
advice.
That is the best advice that I've ever been given.
Yeah.
You know, you bump into someone, "Oh my God, it's so great to see you. How you doing? This? Hey, it's Tuesday. Hey, what are you doing next Tuesday? Let's get together for like, it would be so great. Oh yeah." And then you don't see him for another 5 years.
Yeah.
Because you're so at peak that if you're not at peak, it ain't going to happen. So when you go back to reality, you're like, "Oh, dude, I got so much shit on. Maybe next week. Maybe next, right?"
Yeah,
I
exactly.
always
And when
think
you're
don't
super
do it
angry,
when you're
oh my
really
God.
upset, but I never thought about when you're really happy.
No. When you're when you're really happy,
That makes
don't
sense.
make plans.
Yeah.
When you're really, really angry, mad as hell, don't make decisions.
Yeah. Because when you get excited, let's say like,
It makes so much. No, 1,000%.
"Oh, this
It
happened.
makes
Oh my
so
God,
much
I'm gonna go
sense.
do this. Now I'm gonna go do that. I'm gonna go do that.
That's
oh my God,
true.
I'm so excited. And then
That's
you
true.
wind down and you're like,
Oh shit.
"Oh fuck, what I do."
Yeah, you know. So if you follow that and feel yourself getting all excited, just relax. Just take it easy.
That's very good
Look,
advice.
that has kept me on the straight and narrow. I got to tell you honestly, that has kept me on the straight and narrow for the longest time. It's really, really helped me a lot. So I'm glad
No,
you got
thank
something
you.
out of
That's
that. But getting back to your
great
question about what happens now. So only recently, so obviously you've heard about the Adelaide Cleveland situation, and,
Yes.
and the fundraiser was scheduled for
In
either.
case somebody listening hasn't, one of our black belts, Adelaide Cleveland, has a brain tumor, right? I don't know the name of it, but a lot of people in 10th Planet do seminars on his behalf, raise money to help with his treatment.
Yep. So we were doing that too. So it was either August 12 or August 19, depends on how your schedules were around the world. Run an in-house comp for Adelaide.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I'm like, what do you mean? Is the 12th and the 19th the same day
Of
somewhere
August?
around the world?
No, it's a week apart. Like around that time, if we all do
Throughout
an in-house comp,
everyone.
we
Oh,
should be
that's
able to
when we did
raise.
our white belt tournament.
Yeah,
No?
I think so.
Yeah, I think that was our white
I
belt
think it
tournament.
was.
Yeah.
And between us, all the schools in the world, if everyone does this, we
Yeah.
should be able to raise a few $100s each school, and we'll have the money in a day.
I think we did like $1,000 at HQ.
We raised $2,500 for Adelaide.
Yeah.
And two of the guys from Brisbane came down, said they were coming. Jack Langley and Devin Coetzee. And Devin and I and Shane were at the hospital when it all went down. So they came down and supported. I was like, cool. And then they competed. Oh my God, they're tremendous students, like tremendous students. And I was so impressed with them. I was like, man, and we went and had a celebratory little dinner afterwards and whatnot. You know, we just went to the local hangout and whatever and just have fun. Mm-hmm. And they sat me down. They go, hey, Frank, can we talk to you? I was like, yeah, what's up? And they told me, they go, look, this is what we're doing. Jack Langley, he's got really good business skills. And Devin is the dude that's going to be doing all the technical side of the jiu-jitsu. So the affiliation will be under them, but they'll be sharing it. And we want to go for it. Mm-hmm. And with your approval, We'll work with you. We're going to come down and we're going to get you up there. All business as usual. And we're going to resurrect 10th Planet Brisbane.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, that was
Have you been
music to
thinking
me.
about what you were going to do with that?
Absolutely. It's been on my mind the whole damn time.
Yeah.
And I was like, how are we going to do this? How are we going to do this? It's not easy just to send somebody over there.
Of course not.
Because they have to tick all the boxes. And they've got to be able to keep the doors open.
Yeah.
You can have all the technique as much as you want, but it doesn't make you a great coach.
Right. Sure.
Doesn't make you a great business partner. Schedules,
Right.
juniors, competing. Jesus, it's tough. You have to be a maniac. And Adam was a maniac. You know, just like most of the Moonheads are, if not all of them. So right now, 10th Planet Brisbane is resurrecting the Lazarus Moon.
Wow, that's
Yeah, that's what I've been calling it in my mind.
has Australia, since you are the like presiding black belt over the Australian teams, you know how the freaks are the freaks, and like they have I think 3 moons at this point. I think maybe 4. The Monster Squad has 5 moons, and Casey kind of presides over a couple other schools. Are you a team? Like, or do you have a name?
Absolutely, we are absolutely. It's 10th Planet Down Under. That's it, and we're all. That's when Eddie said to me, he goes, oh, because Eddie used to say stuff to me like 2008, 2009, 2010. He used to say things like, I'd be like in his car, just like, Dad, just get me out of here. Just make sure I don't tell my family I love them. I'm just totally wrecked. And he'd be driving like, dude, you're going to be like the John Will of 10th Planet in Australia. You wait.
The John Will?
John Will. So John Will was one of the first non-Brazilian black belts in the Machado family. He's part of the Dirty Dozen, right? In Australia. I trained with John Will. I used to train with one of John's affiliates, and I'm a blue belt in the gi before I met Eddie. That was 2003 to 2005. 2006 I met Eddie, and the rest is history.
Yeah.
Buggy.
Wow.
Yeah, because that's another story. But that's how it went. So, and I'd be like, come on. I'm like, God, this guy, I wish he was.
No, it's true.
Like, he could see the mark, and I was like, I'm just trying not to die. And these are the days in Burbank when I met you and Edgar, and he would go Barca, and they'd go woo 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 as I'd walk across the mat, and he would sick people onto me, and I'd be like, you want to go to the beach? I'm like, I just don't want to die right now, Becky. Right, remember that first time we met you and Edgar? You guys wanted to take me out. It was really nice to meet you. Upside down inverted while I was getting smashed, but yeah, that's when I met you around 2009. That's the first time we met.
Was that 2009? That was more like.
It might have been her more.
That was me.
I was 2012.
It was the second time we were at Burbank.
Yeah, I was 2012. I was the second round.
Okay. So yes,
You would have been.
2009.
okay. We went
Yeah.
Bomb Squad, La Brea,
I know we look alike.
Burbank,
That is true.
Santa Monica,
Yes.
right? Santa Monica Boulevard.
Yes.
Was that right?
Yeah.
And then back to Burbank.
Yes.
Yes.
And then we went to
Downtown.
Tap Out,
Yeah.
and
And
now
across
here we
the
are,
street,
right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
I
you
was the
came
second
in the
round in
second
Burbank.
time at Burbank,
Yeah.
and that was 2011.
2012.
No, it wasn't. It was,
It was
2011.
It was the year that I got married.
It was 2011.
Frank,
I've
it was
been
when you were
training
here.
for
You came
five
to
and
my
a half
wedding.
years.
It was when you came
were-
to my
you
wedding.
did-
It was
after our wedding.
2012. You're right. You're right. It was 2012. No, relax. No. It was. No. I'm trying.
Becky, relax.
Relax. No. I'm trying to get it all in my head because.
It was 2000. It was the year that I got married. That was the 2 years that I only
Absolutely.
trained.
Oh my
like
God,
one
that
time
was
a
so
week.
amazing.
Yeah.
In the Dracula's lair, that place. I thought I was gonna
It was
die
a
in that
genie
joint.
bottle.
That was
It was a
amazing.
genie bottle.
It was awesome.
Do you know they knocked it? They didn't knock it down, but they gutted
Yeah, you
it.
told
and,
me.
Oh, fuck that.
Oh, but you're right. It was 2012 because I was there in June 2012.
Yeah, because she's June.
Okay, I
2nd
got
or
this. I got
something,
this. I got this.
All right.
Right? And then I got my brown belt September 15,
Yeah.
2012. So that makes sense. I got you. I got you. That was awesome. It was so awesome. Without support, you can't do things like this. You can't.
We're gonna bring up the energy.
All right.
You gave your boy his blue belt.
Oh my God.
Ah!
Good turn of. That's great. Yes, I have to tell you, one day, if and when you go down this road, and you bring a child into the world, and then, I mean, I don't know. I'm just
like, yeah, I'm gonna stop.
okay. All right. For those of you listening,
You can talk to me though.
okay.
There's
Right.
still a chance. I haven't crossed that off my list. She did.
Listen, you don't know love until you bring a child into the world. I'm telling you right
I
now.
have dogs.
And it's not the same, Nick. Donna, it's not the same.
mean,
Anyway, can I get into it? 'Cause
Yes,
this is huge.
please.
All right, so I'm on the phone. So I'm on the phone with Eddie one day as usual because I always talk to Eddie regularly. And he asked, he goes, "Oh, we just got back from Tassie, and Andre wanted to compete his first time interstate." So I went down there and launched the Hobart Moon in April, and there was a tournament, a sub-only tournament, And Andre goes, no, I'm training for it. So he trains for this sub-Olympic time. I'm like, cool, you know, you do whatever you want. No worries, he's his own man. I don't push anything on him. If he wants to compete, I'm like, all right, know which weight category you're in, train hard, and let's go. So like, don't give me any excuses. Don't tell me what you're gonna do. Just show me. That's our motto in our family. You know, don't talk about it. Just do it.
Do it.
Yeah.
Just do it. You know.
Good.
And if you need to talk about something, we're there to support you, as long as it has something to do with you doing it.
Right.
So we go over there, and you know, he took silver. But let me tell you, he was up against some giants, and he's 16, and he was in like an open category because they didn't have a lot of teens competing. And I got to tell you, he lost not most of his matches. I think he had 3 matches, and he won one of his matches, lost 2 of his matches. Went into overtime. And these guys were beasts. These young kids, you know, some 17-year-olds.
Yeah.
They're like 85, 90
Yeah, have you
kilograms.
seen some of the 13-year-olds that I trained
Okay,
at HQ?
well, hello.
Seriously,
You don't have to tell
though.
me. And he just did an amazing job hitting electric chairs. So OG. He's just in the overtimes hitting that spider web, that arm crush. He's
Nice.
just doing so well. So anyway, this is like a week after, and I'm on the phone with Eddie. He goes, "How's Andre?" I go, "Man, I got to tell you, I couldn't be more prouder." I go, "That kid just loves 10th Planet. He's always training. He's the biggest 10th Planet like supporter. He loves it when he's in the dojo. He's just so team orientated. He's just." Look, I know he's my kid, but in all the years I've taught kids and teens, regardless that he's my son, regardless, without a doubt, he'd have to be the most dedicated student I've actually ever had.
Are you trying to tell me that your son, Frank Barca, is enthusiastic and
No.
intense about training? I cannot believe that.
Andre's amazing. Andre's amazing. And so Eddie says to me, he goes, "Dude, you have to find..."
No, do your Eddie impersonation.
No, I'm not going to do it. He goes, "Dude, you got to find the right occasion for this." So I'm like, okay. So get this, right? Get this. This is April, around, I don't know, late April. So I'm supposed to launch the Moon at Brisbane. So I fly there Friday. It all goes down. Supposed to do the seminar Saturday. Fly home Saturday night, be with my family. Sunday morning, drive to the airport. Fly to Singapore Super Camp to be with Sean Bollinger, Eddie,
Oh, yeah. Denny,
and
Slick Rick.
yes,
Remember that.
exactly, right? And I was going. Well, guess what? You can't imagine how much. I lost thousands of dollars. Like, no one wanted to honor anything, regardless of the situation. The people overseas, I lost every cent. Like, I lost about $5,000 over the whole
my
thing.
God.
They didn't want. You know what they
They're
said
like,
to me?
we don't care that your friend died.
They
We're
go,
not
yeah,
helping
they go,
you."
"Oh, really? Oh, you want us to give you a refund? We need a death certificate." I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like,
Yeah,
you
let
know
me- Let me
what?
call his dad real quick and get
Couldn't
that.
you
I
just
just
show
went-
them like the newspaper? What do they do in the newspaper when they
The obituary?
Yeah.
Ah, fuck, they didn't give a shit.
Wow.
They had my money, and they could
show
double their
anybody's
money on the
obituary,
room.
I guess.
True.
They had their money, and they could double their money on the room that they were leasing me for that week.
Yeah,
I mean,
they could
forget it,
get it
right?
someone else.
Fucking
Jackasses.
disgusting.
Wow.
That's okay.
It really is.
That's okay.
But
Because
still, kind of scumbag on them.
Listen, the exchange is done.
Yeah.
I fulfilled my side of it. I'll be rewarded in another way, which I always am. So it's cool. You know, it's just money. I'll just make it. I'll just make it again.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah.
So I just shrugged it off because I had bigger fish to fry. So I didn't care about that. So I just got on with it. Well, Denny was there, right? That's where I was going to meet Denny. Denny and I were going to fly back here, back to Melbourne. Because
I was like,
Denny
you
and
were
I.
coming here?
Sorry. I'm thinking like I'm at home. Fly back to Melbourne with me. Hang out with me because me and Denny are the best of friends. I love Denny.
Denny's awesome. We love Denny.
Yeah, and he was going to do a seminar because we did a seminar last year. And we just loved Denny. And then he was going to fly home. It was going to be
Right.
perfect. So what we did was, because Eddie, it's funny how it all works out. I couldn't get to Singapore because Denny was still coming. So then I was like, we're going to promote. So I called up Denny, as we always talk all the time. I said, "Denny," I said, "here's what's going on." He goes, "Can you imagine Denny hearing that?" Like, "Denny, speaking to Eddie, Andre's ready. We're going to rank him. He's going to be 17 in a couple of weeks. It's ready, dude. He's so edgy." He goes, "Oh, fuck yeah." He goes, "I've been watching him. He's got his own little Instagram thing going on. And da da da." He goes, "Fuck yeah," because him and Denny are like best of friends. Like, this 10th Planet thing, and I get goosebumps when I think about this. The biggest thing that you want to have, for me, for your kid, is they may not want to tell you shit, without a doubt, but they'll tell
Yeah.
other people. And I want those people to be the best people. I want the best people around my family. The fucking best people. And I've got the best people around me that's taking 11 fucking years to put this whole family together all the way to Australia. And Denny and Andre should see them together. And also Caprice, my daughter, they love Denny. Denny's like this big brother, you know. Andre always longed to have a big brother. Always longed to have a big brother.
Yeah.
And Denny's that guy, you know. And he talks, they're on the same level, you know. They both got their own little quirks and, you know,
Sure.
Yeah.
so unique, you know. And Denny makes it all right because he's a bad motherfucker. So, and you know, Andre's kids at school, they think he's talking shit all the time. And he has to bring up his Instagram and go, look at my friends, Boogie, Gio, Eddie, Jean-Jacques. Like, it's fucking bananas. So I tell Denny, I go, Denny, this is what we're going to do. He goes, dude, that's fucking awesome. I go, we're going to do it together. You, me, and Tito are going to rank Andre. He goes, fuck, I want to go now. Like, he was so excited. So anyway, it all goes down. And amongst all of the sadness and all that, and in between Adam dying and Adam's funeral, there was a little space of 3 days that Denny came in and we just lit up.
You just brought the light.
Yeah, just to remind people that, look, this is devastating, but look, remember, there's always a light. Without darkness, there's no light, right?
Of course.
That just was in my head the whole time. But anyway, there's a song from Disturbed called "The Light." I don't know if you've heard it.
Oh my God.
You might want to listen to it. It's
Are
just.
you going to pull it on your phone right now? Is that what you're doing?
No.
Oh,
I
thought you were pulling out your phone to play it.
Wouldn't it be awesome if we could play it? It would be awesome if we could play that song. But anyway,
I just wrote today in this book something about that even at night there's light.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
Anyway, so Denny comes in. We run the seminar. Yeah, we run the seminar. It was absolutely awesome. Denny was a treat as always. We had the best time. Andre and I had actually had time to do an hour of training with Denny, just us. Worked on some leg locks because he was at a DDS seminar
Nice.
in Singapore like the day before he flew out. So he goes, Frank, I want to show you.
Really?
Yeah. Awesome. So can you imagine Andre's working out with Denny?
Wait,
and I'm
somebody from DDS was out there doing a seminar?
Yeah, John Danaher was out there.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. How crazy is that?
Damn.
I know.
All right.
So, and can you imagine? And I ranked 6 blue belts that night. And then Andre's just sitting there watching another 5 guys go up, and he didn't. And Andre has seen so many soldiers go through and get ranked that it almost broke him at one stage. Almost. But he's so tough, that kid's so mentally strong, he just keeps going, just keeps believing. But I could see that, and I said, Andre, you just got to keep doing what you're doing. I'll give you advice that Eddie always gave me. I go, Eddie, what do you need me to do? What do I have to do? He goes, just keep pushing. Because you're doing all the right things. Just keep pushing. So I just had Eddie's voice in my head every time I had that moment with Andre. I would just go, Andre, you're doing all the right things. Just keep pushing. And he did. So can you imagine?
Stop making me cry.
Can you imagine? Ranking your son. Denny was there, the first black belt in the 10 planet system. His father, the first black belt in the Southern Hemisphere. His uncle, Moonhead, South Melbourne, in the family. Mm-hmm. In the family. His uncle is Josh. And I bring him up and it was outstanding. It was. I'm so proud of that kid. Yeah, he was, should have seen him. He put a photo up on Instagram. He says, finally got my blue belt in 10th planet. You have no idea how much he follows all of you. He is such a team player. He's so down for the 10. It's in his blood.
I can't imagine where he may have got that from. I can't imagine
Like,
where
it's
that
hard to
came
put those
from.
two together.
If anybody is not in 10th Planet, then you haven't received a phone call from Frank Barca. How many people do
At
you
weird
call?
times too.
Like, because every time I talk to somebody, they're like, Frank just called me. Like, I talked to John Boteo in Phoenix.
Johnny,
and he's like, Frank just called me. And then I'll talk to her.
I'm at the call.
How many people within the system do you call, like, on a monthly basis?
I try and call everybody all the time.
It feels like it.
I don't care. I woke up Sean Applegate the other day. It was like 4 a.m. And his wife Tori's like, fuck Frank, it's Frank. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. It's 10th planet time.
You actually have great timing. You always call me at 10:30.
I try and be
I
considerate.
usually get like 10:30, 11.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get them in like 2 or 3 in the afternoon. I think it's your morning, maybe. Or
Yeah.
I think
I get 10:30, and it must be your afternoon
you're at a
because
car
the
wash or
family's like
something?
hanging out in the house.
Yeah.
Like I've seen your whole. You have dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And your wife's in the background.
Yeah, always. Hello. She's like, hello. Everybody knows
Oh,
Karina.
I don't get those. I get car wash calls.
Well, every time I go and wash my car, I try and hit up Becky. That's
I get
just.
calls.
You're the
That's
car
the way
wash
it is.
lady. I'm the family lady.
I go, Becky, guess where I am? She goes, the car wash. I go,
So you call everybody in the system?
look, I
Or just
try.
moonheads?
Just the people he likes.
No,
which
no.
is
Look,
everyone.
look, there's a lot of new people, new faces. Schools are building rapidly, so I call all the moonheads as much as I can. I mean, they're all my friends. I mean,
Are you on 10WO? Do you guys like talk
Every
how
day.
Often, how often do 10W? Also, for
explain
anybody who
10WO.
doesn't know, 10WO is a closed group on Facebook that's all the moonheads and black belts. So how many times a day does your phone go off with a 10WO notice?
The notification.
all day.
Because
All
sometimes
day.
I send notice, like if I'm like, I need to talk to people within the system, I need information, which some of you motherfuckers have not responded to my last request.
Which one was that?
Uh-huh.
Oh, we can't talk about it.
See, I don't know if it's been announced yet. I sent a request through Scott Ross, who is always my 10WO 10WO
you're not-
contact, because
you're-
I'm not on
there-
it. I'm like,
You gotta
this is-
know.
This is the information that I need. So then Scott just copies and pastes and puts it into 10WO,
Yeah,
and then people
yeah.
get back to me.
Yes.
But it's something that hasn't been announced yet, so I'll let Eddie do that because
All
I
right,
do
cool.
not want to get
No,
yelled
no,
at.
that's cool. That's cool. That's
You
cool.
can tell me after.
Okay.
We're not recording.
That's all good. It's all good. Yeah, the 10WO goes non-stop. It's 24/7.
I would imagine.
Yeah,
well,
well-
by the time, I mean, we're a day
Ahead.
about 18 hours ahead.
Yeah.
So New Zealand is actually the first that's up. So when
But we don't have anybody in New Zealand
Oh,
anymore,
we
do
did. We had Froggy over there.
Yeah, but he lives in Riverside now.
Right. So Hamilton, Templeton Hamilton used to be a moon down there. And anyway, but before he moved here, Hamilton would come online first, and then we'd come on second, and then the UK would come on third, and then you guys would come on after that. Maybe Europe would come on. No, Europe. Anyway, whatever.
How
it was.
many? We have like
The
four
Europe's
moons
ahead.
in Europe.
And it was really frustrating. It's really
us.
frustrating at times too, because when there was a new tweak released, we would do the series the day before and move on to the next series, and then Eddie would launch
Oh,
a tweak.
and we're
I'd be like,
behind.
oh, so now we're
Yeah.
like 2 weeks behind.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, so we have to scramble, but yeah, that's cool. Well, I try and call. Look, there's a lot of great people in the system, and there's so many of them. But
Do you have your warm up wall yet?
you know what's funny? We were one of the first to have our warm ups written up. Yeah, we had them on our mirrors. I used to use those chalk pens. I had one of my students write them on the mirrors.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. So, I have this thing, I always, because Connor Hewn taught me years ago, he always used to write on his mirrors in his house.
We gotta get Connor on the podcast.
Oh, for
time he's in
sure.
LA, you'll
Connor
love him. He's
Hewn,
awesome.
oh my God, what a badass that dude is.
For sure.
He's
I think
amazing.
I met him when I first started in 2012. I think he was still out here. It was not long after he moved. maybe.
Super OG.
Oh
Ten
man,
Planet
yeah,
Guy.
I lived with Connor for 3 trips, 3 years I came. I was living with Connor just off Sunset Boulevard for the longest time. I would make that walk about 4 or 5 blocks down Sunset, left up La Brea, uphill.
You know, I drove past that place today. Do you know that since we moved out, nobody has ever moved into that space?
Are you kidding?
So I don't totally know the whole story, but I feel like the landlord was trying to raise the rent on Legends Gym at the time, and it was so much that they were like, that's stupid, we have to go. And they've never had anybody. I think one gym moved in right after us, and they had their whole shtick was they had a live DJ, and that lasted, I think, less than 6 months, and nobody's ever been in that space
That's
afterwards.
karma.
So you want to hear? So it's on La Brea. And
Just south of Hollywood Boulevard.
Yeah, just
Okay.
like a block.
There's that
Not even.
club restaurant.
So there's a on Hollywood. It's on Hollywood, right there by La Brea. There's a little coffee shop. That
I've been there with Emily.
Tiago or whatever. Yes,
Yeah.
Scott's been there too. We've all been there. There, you can ask Scott. When you're there, you go try and connect to the Wi-Fi, and you get the list of Wi-Fi's. There's one called Bomb Squad.
Stop it.
I'm not fucking kidding you. You can't connect to it, but there's one called Bomb Squad.
How
and
is
we're
it
like,
still there? Because that coffee shop wasn't there when we were there.
Ask Emily.
And it was Legends.
This has come up a few times. We're like, how weird is that? Because isn't it like right over? Because neither of us really know where it's at. We just know it's.
but it wasn't even
in
the
this
bomb
general-
squad. Like the bomb squad wasn't over there.
Coincidences. It's just coincidences.
That's crazy.
It might have nothing to do. It might be someone else that just happened to be in the
Wow.
area calling it Bomb Squad. But there's a Wi-Fi called Bomb
That's
Squad
funny.
right there.
Yeah.
So
Isn't
anyway,
it funny? You say that word bomb squad, and a few people just go, hmm?
Yep.
you're getting to a point. We're getting to a point now where there's so many people, and it's like they've all come in after that. There's like, what the fuck is Bomb Squad?
What the fuck
Yeah.
is bomb squad? Mate, when that T-shirt came out, that grey bomb squad Hollywood, California T-shirt came out, I'm telling you, I was so excited. I mean, I did the last week at Bomb Squad.
And Bomb Squad nonetheless.
It was, hey,
Yeah.
I've been
I
in
never
every
made it to
dojo
Bomb
that
Squad.
Eddie's had. I've been in every single.
I joined right when they moved into Legends.
I remember when meeting you the first time.
Yeah.
I
You know
remember.
my brother called me, and because I used to box. I learned to box at Wildcard from Freddie Roach and his team of trainers. They're all amazing. You may have heard of him.
Freddie Roach.
Little trainer. Small trainer. And I couldn't box anymore because I was a massage therapist. That was my job.
That's right.
And my wrists were just fucked. And I was like, massage and boxing
Maybe that's
don't really go together.
No.
So then I stopped being a massage therapist as my job, and my brother called me up and he's like, "Yo, there's this gym in Hollywood, Randy Couture. He was supposed to be one of the owners. It was whatever, but
And
he was
Boss
like,
Ruth.
"You have to go."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "I'm in." So I walked in the next day, and Chris Riley was like, "Yeah, let's do it."
This is 2006.
This is 2007. It's been 10 years since I joined Legend.
Whoa.
So I joined, and then I started doing kickboxing with Pete Nyland and Jimmy
Yes,
Romero.
Pete Nyland.
Love Pete.
Yeah, me too.
And all I knew was Eddie was that dude that taught after class. After
Pete, was he at
Pete
Lila's
Nyland, he was at
wedding?
Lila's wedding.
Yeah.
So I would come in and I would do MMA workout, which is the cardio. And I remember
MMA
Jimmy
workout.
teaching me how to shoot. Like, we used to have to shoot on the bags, and I literally looked at him one day. I'm like, I am never gonna need this information in my life. I just want to kick the bag, like, please. So, so then,
Kicking.
yeah, I was. So then I became friends with Dave Callahan and Brent Littell.
Dave Callahan.
And I was like, oh, they're cool. And Dave was like showing me how to do, without any context, with zero context for jiu-jitsu, Dave Callahan showed me how to do a Peruvian necktie.
Yep.
So I had no idea how complicated this. He was like, "Look, you do this and you do this," and I'm like, "Yeah."
It's that simple.
Because all I knew was it was a submission.
Yep.
And I used to watch MMA, and I'm like, "Oh, it's a submission. Yeah, like a choke. Yeah, it's a submission." I had no idea. But then a couple months later, when I joined jiu-jitsu, I'm like, "Oh, this is not as easy as he made it seem like it is."
Oh God, no.
You have to get there.
Yes.
People just don't let you.
They don't
do
just
that
give
to
you
them.
their necks.
No, when I first joined, and I feel like I've said this before, and I love all of our old school guys that took me under their wings. There was no such thing as fundamentals. Like, nobody taught me how to shrimp. Nobody taught me how to get out of Mount Escape. Like, no, there was none of that. But everybody was super happy to teach me how to do twisters and how to do rubber guard and go-go platas. And I was always so shocked when nobody would let me get there easily, because I'm like, but this is what I know how to do.
How do I do this? If this is what you're teaching me, how do I do it if they're not letting me do it on
But
that?
I wanted to twist
I don't
for you.
understand.
I know, that's crazy. Crazy.
I do feel I'm totally gonna change the subject somewhat, a little bit.
All
You were talking about your friend having said that he's going to twister someone in his match.
Oh, calling people out, or calling moves out. It's like the Babe Ruth thing.
Yeah.
I feel like without actually calling it out, because she doesn't really say too much, that Grace Gundrum had it in her head
Oh
that
my
she
God.
was going to twister that girl on
feel like
Saturday. Like
There's nothing Grace Gundrum can't do.
Nothing.
Personally.
I
That
feel
girl.
like maybe she told Zach and JM, maybe. But even then, I feel like possibly this girl in her head
Yeah.
was like,
I'm gonna do that.
I'm going to do a twister tonight.
No, but it was probably like, I'm gonna twist her.
Yeah.
That girl is
And goddamn it, did she twister her.
from another planet. She's.
Have
She
you
really
met
is.
Grace?
No, I've never met Grace. Not yet.
Holy moly.
But it's funny because when Renee was over, he grabbed a few rashies and took them over, and they took a great photo of all of them in their Melbourne rash guard. I was just, oh my God, I was just like, man.
She's amazing. She is not very social. She's amazing,
She's
but
quiet
she's
as a
just-
mouse.
but she knows that I make her hug me every single time. Like, she has no choice. And so when at the competition, I go up and I give her a bump, and I'm like, fucking beast, like all the things that I usually
Oh, and
say
I
to
gave her a hug, and it was totally awkward.
Well, and she totally, like, so I'm talking to her, and she felt it coming, and she just went.
Yep, that's exactly.
She's a genius.
Yeah.
I mean, at
She's a
school,
total
she's.
genius.
Whoa.
Well, you know,
man.
she's doing college courses. And we said this, I don't know if you watched Ultimate Mat Warrior, but her
Yep.
mom, Mary Jo, is amazing.
Yep.
And Grace has chosen to do homeschool so she can train full time. And also because she's smarter than probably everybody else in high school. And Mary Jo can barely keep up the work. Like, Grace is just like,
I'm
done. And Mary Jo's like, dude, let me.
pretend to struggle just for a little bit. Just
She's
Wow.
like, let me catch up, like, grading your shit and doing it and giving you information. So now Grace has moved on to college courses.
and
she's like 16,
Is it finally
right?
taking her a little more
she's
time
15.
to finish the work?
She's 15.
I don't know. I haven't talked to Mary Jo since she started the college courses, but I know that when she was in high school, she would finish her work, be bored, go to the gym, train in the morning, then go back in the afternoon, help teach the kids class, take the MMA class, and then do jiu-jitsu with the adults. Right? Amazing.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah.
You wish you could.
Right?
You wish you could do that yourself. You know.
Oh, could you
Let alone
imagine
a kid
if
with such a
the
brain
way
capacity is just.
that jiu-jitsu is available as like a whole sport right now? If that had been available to us when we were teenagers,
And we were into it, and we
Yeah,
knew about it, and we're
yeah,
familiar with it, and like,
I'm
enjoyed
Imagine
pretty
it.
having
sure I
that
would have been
life.
into it. Had somebody shown me that I could choke people, and I would have been
Oh,
so
yeah.
into it.
That's true.
I'm in. Yeah.
I feel like I would have put up more resistance than
You
I
probably would have, but I would have been super down.
For sure.
Becky's
she's
starting to
amazing.
hear stories about me in high school that she wasn't aware of.
did. Like her getting chased, like in a car chase with helicopters included.
In a stolen car. I wasn't driving. I was.
Oh,
Okay,
that makes
look,
it better because she was
No,
You
no,
weren't,
driving.
you
Here's
weren't
the
riding
thing.
with OJ, were you? Is that,
No, but here's the thing.
1994
My mom
Bronco.
actually jokes about this. I never did any of the dirt. I was never.
She was just
I was
associated
the
with
witness.
those people.
No. I was the witness. So I was just around people who were doing things.
Oh no, you were in the car, so you were associated with the people doing that.
I did not have knowledge beforehand that it was a stolen car.
Uh huh.
All right, that's good to know.
Helicopters?
Yes. We got away. We got away. It was amazing.
What?
They ditched the helicopters.
We ditched the helicopters.
Wow, look at that.
Impressive, huh?
And if anybody doesn't believe me, if they think I'm
Usually
making
when
up
the
this story,
helicopters-
I will show
That's
you.
true.
I posted. Somebody posted on my page. They were like, "Haha, I heard your story about running away from the cops. That was so funny." The girl that was with me, my friend Dana, posted on there. She hadn't heard the podcast without any preamble. She was like, "Oh my god, I totally forgot that we were chased by two police helicopters."
Usually when you see the helicopters get involved in like a chase, you're like, yeah, that person's fucked. They might as well just stop. You might as well just stop and give up now. You're not getting away. They're in a helicopter.
Anyway,
Donna Gonzalez, ladies and gentlemen.
I know.
So Frank, what's the future hold?
yeah.
Well, right
what's
now,
new?
I'm on the back end of this trip. This is number
14?
Yeah, this is number 14. And look, 10 Planet Down Under is in great shape. Everybody's doing what they're supposed to do. We're heavy on the warm-ups. We're all synced in with what Eddie's doing. We're competing regularly. Everybody's pushing hard, and life's beautiful. You know, the MMA commentary side of things is amazing, and
Hex and what was the other one?
Brace MMA.
I like both of those names. Do you know our sponsor is Hex Performance Laundry Detergent?
Yes.
We'll have to give you some.
Okay,
I'll have
great.
some in the car. Bring
Yeah.
some tonight.
Awesome. Yeah, it's awesome. So right now everything's going as to plan. I mean, coming here is a very important part of what it all makes it more successful for what's going on down here. I think it's important for me to get here. Number one, to get out of my own comfort zone.
Yeah.
And to get out there, and I've got friends I want to come and train with anyway. So it's a win-win for me. Although it's difficult, it's never easy. HQ, it's unbelievable. You're walking into a dungeon of death every single day or night. You're in there. It's just killers
Well,
everywhere.
plus this trip, you've done something different than all of your
Yeah,
other trips,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
You've gone up to Tony Ferguson's fight camp.
Yes, I arrived.
That must be amazing.
Oh, what an opportunity! And Friday I land. I text Eddie. Eddie, I'm here. Da da da. He goes, oh, I'm going to be at Big Bear regularly over the next few weeks. Can you teach class for me? I said, 100%. So for Monday's class. I said, no worries. He goes, I'm going up there today. You want to come? He goes, Jeremiah's meeting me at outside HQ in an hour. I go, let's go. Sorry, I did it again. Let's go. Let's go. So I've just landed. I've been awake at this stage for nearly 24 hours, whatever.
Oh my god.
I just
It's
get
like
in the
5
back.
days.
I go, Eddie, please stop at a pharmacy, a chemist. I need to get some.
chemist?
Yeah, I need to. What do you call them?
Pharmacy.
A pharmacy.
But I
Okay.
love that you said, could you just find a chemist? Like
Yeah,
some
yeah.
dude in a lab coat? Like,
All right.
Breaking
A
Bad
pharmacy, a pharmacy. All right. So, because I've got to get some motion sickness pills right now because we're going up Big Bear, right? He goes, yeah. He goes, yeah. I said, nah, we're gonna have an issue. He goes, no worries.
can't
So we
do
stop.
car?
Yeah, no, can't do it in the back seat. Can't do it. Can't do it. So I got some pills, popped a couple, drove up there, knocked me out. We get up there and we train. I'm there. I jump out, and there's Tony Ferguson, Calvin Gastelum, Master Vic, of course Eddie, Jeremiah, and me. I just couldn't believe
that's
it.
some heavy artillery
Yeah,
on
and-
the mat.
Yeah,
I know,
yeah,
right?
it's awesome, and we're all up there, and some people were traveling as well with Master Vic as well. But we all trained that whole day together. It was just unbelievable. We went running, I think we ran 3 miles.
Eddie ran 3 miles.
No, Eddie's banged
That's
up.
what I'm.
No, he was following us.
That was a genuine question.
No, he was following us with his truck.
So
And
he
we
was
were-
like
Oh my
when
God.
Rocky was in Russia, and the,
Yes,
the
kinda like
Russians
that.
were following him in the truck.
Yeah, it was kind of like that.
It's a movie.
You haven't seen the Rocky movies
She's
either.
never seen anything.
What the?
Thank you.
I thought Star Wars. She's not into Star Wars.
She
Right?
hasn't seen Star Wars. She hasn't seen Harry Potter. She hasn't seen Rocky. She hasn't seen
What?
Game of Thrones. I know. Who is she?
Look. Harry Potter, relax. Don't worry about it.
Stop it. You
I'm
shut
not
up.
worried about
Don't
it.
worry about it. But Rocky, I'm gonna kick you. You should. Anyway, so I just couldn't
cramp
believe it.
up when you
We're
kick me,
running.
okay?
Look, we're at altitude. I'm ignoring that. We're at altitude. We're at altitude. Look, I've always heard about Big Bear. You kidding
Oh
me?
yeah,
Come
no,
on,
it's way the
right?
hell up there.
Yeah.
I'm like, so I'm up there, and we're going running because that's what you do when you're
you
with Tony
dying, like,
Ferguson.
halfway?
he's going for a run. You're all going for a
Wait,
run.
you could all
Yeah.
keep up with him?
Well, no. Who could keep up with Tony?
I would have jumped in the car with Eddie.
Who could keep up with El Kukui?
Minutes, and I would have been like,
I'm like,
Eddie.
who's keeping up with
No,
Whatever.
man. You know what he was? He was running up the hill and then doubling back to pick us up, right?
Oh, sorry, I didn't know.
Unbelievable. Anyway, but get this, right? I mean, okay, at one stage we're running, and I'm running with, I've got Tony's on my left, Calvin's on my right, and I'm running. And I'm
That's
looking.
motivation to keep
Wait,
up.
come on. I'm an Aussie from Australia, obviously, but my head was melting. My brain was, because I'm running with one of the greatest of all time, two of the greatest
Were you like, I'm in
fighters
the
on the
UFC now?
planet,
Yeah, right.
who fight in the UFC that I have
Right.
watched with my kids and my students and all for years, and I'm like running
Were you like, guys, we're
at
in
8,500 feet
We're
with
on
these
Fight
guys.
Pass.
I'm like, oh my god.
No, were you like, guys, we're on Fight Pass?
All of us. We do things on there.
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe
Yeah.
it. So it was huge for me, and it was just so great to be a part of that, and the opportunity that Eddie gave me, of course, invited me up there, and Tony being so cool. And I've known Tony since 2013. I've met him officially, so he was rapt to see me. And I've never met Calvin before, but he'd heard about, because when Eddie was doing EBR,
Yeah.
he was on there, and I rang in a couple of times. So he goes, oh yeah, the dude from Australia. So he kind of put 2 and 2 together, and I was like, oh my god, this is perfect. And Master Vic and I, we go back years anyway, and whatnot. And it was just with Jeremiah, and it was just the best thing ever. I just couldn't believe my life. So anyway, we drove back, and I've been up twice so far, and hopefully if
Eddie
things go
coming
well.
back and forth every night? I thought he was just staying
Eddie,
up there.
listen, I got to tell you,
It's crazy.
Well, that's
Eddie, the thing about this is that this was a different view of what Eddie does.
good. Yeah.
Because usually in the gym teaching jiu-jitsu, but now watching him put Tony through his paces and instruct and coach Tony on specific moments, to have us there, and then Jeremiah and I were just there, and anytime he needed us to demonstrate or to work out with them, or we were right there, and it was just a huge chapter for me.
Yeah.
It was not a page, it was a huge chapter for me to go, hang on a second, I've worked out a little bit with those guys just out of luck and opportunity, and out of just Eddie being so cool. It was just another perspective to see Eddie at work, and it just reiterated why I've been so enthusiastic about learning from Eddie, because Eddie out of just being an absolute fan for martial arts, MMA, the UFC, he knows so much. He knows
His brain
so.
doesn't work like everybody else's. I say it all the time.
Eddie, I have learned so much from Eddie. I owe him everything, and I always say it. I owe him everything. He's taught me how to think. He's shown me a perspective on coaching and training and on jiu-jitsu, and looking at it from an angle that only Eddie has. And I think that's one of the reasons why Eddie is just one of the best, the greatest coaches ever. I mean, I've learned martial arts from a lot of unbelievable coaches, and Eddie, without a doubt, is the best. Without a doubt, is the best. And you can see why. I mean, look what he's done with Tony. Look what he's doing. I mean, Tony, he's a freak. We all know that.
Yeah.
But to see him in his element, in his environment, it's just beautiful.
Yeah.
It's just beautiful. So fingers crossed. Hopefully tomorrow we're back up there. But I don't know. Eddie had issue with his truck or something, so I'm not sure whether we're going to be going up. But if the opportunity comes up tomorrow, I am definitely there 100%.
Okay.
So
And
it's
then you're
been
flying back to Australia on
Well,
Saturday.
no, it's on Sunday. So what's
Oh.
going to happen is, hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll go to Big Bear tomorrow if that all goes down. If not, it doesn't. But and then Saturday, Friday night, I'm going to be with family.
You have family out here?
Well, my godson is here. See, that's another story. In 2006, Paul Schlander, Pit Dog, I don't know if you remember Pit Dog from Bomb Squad and whatever, and through the years, he was the person that introduced me to 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu originally.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, him and Scotty Epstein. Eddie was out of town when I first got there. And they
Your
took
first
the class.
introduction was Scott Epstein? That's amazing.
And Pit Dog and Paul Schlander.
Well, I don't know him, but I know Einstein.
Einstein, yeah. So, we clicked instantly because he had an extensive martial arts background before 10th Planet. And so he just unloaded all the basics. We just clicked straight away. So he looked after us for a couple of years and we became really good friends, and he enabled me to stay with him from the first day. So I had a place to stay and his family, and I just got along with them. They're just beautiful, Filipino-American family. They're like Italians, you know what I mean? They're like, we're like the family thing, and I was just...
They force feed you?
Yeah.
Like, you eat more.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So they took such good care of me, and I just had to go back and we did, and we developed this awesome friendship, and then, you know, Rain was born, because he had a son, Ronan, and Rain was born, and then they asked me to be the
Those
godfather.
are cool names.
Yeah.
Yeah. To be the godfather, and I said, absolutely. So every time I've come back, I've seen them, and it's just absolutely awesome. So I'll be spending Friday and Saturday with them. Sunday morning, 11 o'clock, I'll be back at HQ because the 155 10th Planet qualifier is on.
Yes.
Are you competing?
Me? No, I'm like 140 ring and wet.
I didn't know. I was just asking.
Yeah,
That'd be amazing if you were.
Oh God. Yeah, well.
Should, just for funsies.
Nah, I think actually Scott Ross actually hit me up today and actually asked me if I wanted to ref a couple of matches. And I was
You
like,
should.
There you go.
Yes.
Yes.
You should.
So I'm so excited.
Do it.
So excited. It's
We'll
not
be
like
live-
there's much to
we'll
do.
be- yeah, we'll
Like
be
ding,
live streaming
heads or
it. Yeah.
tails.
See that
We'll
little
do live
camera right
streaming.
there? We'll be live streaming it. Matt Therapy is the official sponsor of EBI qualifiers.
So I'll see you all on Sunday morning at 11.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yay!
Yeah.
This
it's been
will air
awesome.
after, so you'll have seen
Yeah.
him.
He will have.
On. Yeah. So. Yeah.
Yeah, it's exciting. So this has been awesome. So although I haven't had a chance to train with Eddie on the mat,
Yeah.
but on the other hand, I've been working out with Jeremiah every day, or that he's been down
not bad.
at night and rolling with those
He's
guys.
pretty good.
And Marvin, you know, Marvin's been taking
Yeah.
care of business. I had a chance to teach on Monday night.
I know.
That was epic.
Awesome.
I know you don't really care, but that's okay. That's
I had
okay.
auditions. I'm so sorry. I had to do business.
It's cool. Relax.
Speaking of which, we have class soon.
Yes, we
Oh,
do.
we do.
Yes, we do.
20
So much
we've
to
got
wrap it up.
35
It's been
minutes.
awesome. Thanks for having me. This has been so awesome.
Thank you so much for coming on
Anytime.
and opening up your heart to us like
Yeah.
you always do. We love you, Frank.
You know how I feel about all of you, and this has been an awesome opportunity, and I really appreciate it. And a big shout out to, of course, all my brothers and sisters around the world and 10th Planet System, and all the support that's come through for obviously what's gone on, and also the great things that have happened. The support has been absolutely exceptional, and it's been awesome, and it's a great ride, and we're going to keep going. It's exciting. The future's bright as ever, and I'm just so blessed to be part of it. So I can't wait for the next chapter.
When we refer to your team, do we say down under or do we have to say down under?
You say it however you want. It still sounds great to us. We don't care. 10th Planet Down Under. It's awesome.
What's
Down
up,
Under.
10th Planet Down Under? We love you guys. We will see you guys next week. Make sure
Yes, we
you
will.
follow everybody on social media. Frank, what's your...
Yeah, you can get me on Facebook just under Frank Barca.
BARCA.
Yeah, Barca. You can hit me up on Instagram at Frank Barca 10th Planet for Life. That's Frank Barca 10. Oh, this one.
Oh, there we go.
10P for
There
L.
you go.
And for those
10P for
listening,
L.
10P4L.
Yeah,
for L.
and that's it. That's it.
Bexy,
Oh, our website is if go to 10planet.com.au for all your 10 Planet needs
Fancy.
if you're in Melbourne or if you're in
Yeah.
Australia.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
So there you go.
And I need to come down there because I hear that Nat and Jem have little
Oh,
hobby
they got
things
kangaroos
on
in
their
their
yard.
in their backyard.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kangaroos.
They
Nat-
greet you
Nat
when
sends
you
me
show
pictures.
up. They greet
Nat
you.
sends me
Amazing.
pictures of the hoppy things.
Okay, yeah, we're going. We're going.
It's awesome.
We're gonna go just to get
Oh.
greeted by kangaroos.
Yeah, we're coming down. It's gonna
worth
happen
it.
at some point.
It's
Yeah.
worth it.
Bexy, you got anything to say?
Hi, everyone.
Okay.
A big shout out to all my students over in Australia. Love you guys heaps. Thank you for holding down the fort as you always do every year when I'm up here. I couldn't do it without you. Thank you.
Love you guys. See you next
We
week.
love
Bye.
you all.
Hey guys, thanks for listening. If you like what you're hearing from us, we'd love it if you went to iTunes and gave us a rating and a review. And don't forget, you can support the podcast directly at patreon.com/MattTherapyLife.